Yeah, thank you so much. You look
Oh,
great as
you're welcome. Thank
well.
you.
We are now live. We are now live. Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. And today, May the 16th, who's co-hosting the show with me is Diane Mathis. You remember I had this wonderful lady on with me a couple of months ago when we had the emotions on and Charmaine X, and it was just this whole pot puree of niceness in one
Yes,
place together, wonderful
yes.
energy, sharing the encouragement, the inspiration. It was incredible. So welcome to, excuse me, On the Sofa with Esther. And coming up shortly would be Carla Cook, the daughter of Sam Cook. Alex Sam Cook, and then on the other side of 9 or 2 o'clock, or it'll be 4 o'clock EST, I will be talking to Gregory Williams from Switch. So
Oh,
wonderful
okay.
lineup today. So Diane, before
Yes.
I play a little bit of music, how's your week been? I know it's been, it's been.
You know what, Esther, I'm not going to complain, but, we always have challenges that we have to get through in our lives. So I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to be grateful for every experience that I have, even though I'm facing a major crisis right now, major surgery. But I'm going to think positive and just keep doing what I'm doing and just staying positive because I know that has a lot to do with healing.
It
Uh,
does, yes.
yes, it really does. Thinking positively, speaking positively,
Yeah,
and being prayerful and grateful. That's
yeah.
it. That's it.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, what I'm going to do now, I've actually managed to, on this beautiful new system that I'm using now,
Mhm, mhm.
it's always about getting better, doing better. We've already got one comment from someone. The beautiful thing with this new system is, woohoo, people can leave comments. So the Bossman Hall says, yes, the Bossman is in the house. So I'll be able to feed comments through as we go throughout the show. That's the beauty of this platform. But what I'd like to do before we go any further, I'm going to play a wonderful jingle that you sent to me today. I was just so
Awesome.
I'm like, this is just so, so incredible. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. Co-hosting with me today is Diane Mathis, and you are on LN Soul Radio, where neo soul and R&B lives.
All right.
Let's get this working.
Greetings, Esther. This is Diane Mathis. Thank you for welcoming me back to your sofa, where inspirational, informational, educational, and motivational conversations are had with artists across the globe. Your support in playing our music and telling our stories is phenomenal and appreciated. So when I'm in London, I enjoy listening to On the Sofa with Esther Austin.
Great.
That was,
Great.
I was like, whoa, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Yeah, yeah. I was really sort of inspired by that. And what I'm also going to do now is you've got a song called Welcome because that was taken from your track Welcome, which I'm going to play as well. I managed to pull that up. And then we can talk a little bit about, your journey, about music that you're currently working on, because I know you were in the studio, you've been working on some new material and just all the wonderful things that we're going to share over the next 2 hours. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the incredible Diane Mathis, and let me just read. And this, oh,
Welcome back home. Welcome back home. Oh. Said you needed time to clear your mind. Said you needed space to grow. Gave you freedom to explore the world. the love that's meant to be.
Diane,
Yes.
I remember you were recommended by someone, I think it might have been John the Boss Man Hall. Hello, nice tune, like it, rap. Thank you. And I remember listening to you on YouTube, and I thought, wow, because listened to you or watched you do a take on a Whitney Houston song, and
Oh, thank you.
you just took that to another level. And so, Diane, as you talked about your own health challenges at this moment in time, and the power of being positive, the power of, your mindset, music is that part of that thread that heals, that transforms, that transmutes.
Oh, you are hitting the head on the nail, and that is absolutely the truth. And I have a little story I'd like to share with you if you don't mind. I was with a choir many years. I was with a choir called the Gospel Truth for over 18 years. And one of the things that was such a blessing for me being a part of the choir, our ministry was that people would often ask us to go and visit their families in the hospital and pray for them when and sing, because that would empower them and make them feel good. And so many times we would go thinking we were only going to go and perform for that person that we were commissioned to go and see. But the nurses and the doctors would come and say, hey, open the door and come out in the hallway so everybody can hear you. And I thought that was so amazing. But the most amazing experience that we had, there was a woman who was having a major surgery, and she had asked the doctor if he would listen to the Gospel Truth album that we had out. And he listened to it. And when he was doing the surgery, he was listening to all the gospel music. I didn't know that the doctors often listen to music while they're performing surgery. I guess it just kind of connects them with a higher power.
Mm.
And that's when he told her that he listened, and he said he truly knew that there was a greater power than himself that helped him get through that surgery, because it was a very major surgery for that lady. I will never forget that as long as I live.
Wow.
That was amazing. Music is a healer, it's a connector, it's a vibration that pulls like minded people together. It doesn't matter whether you speak English or another language, the melody pulls people's souls,
So,
connects souls together. I believe that with all my heart. I really do.
but it must do because you've had such an eclectic um, experience within the music industry. You started off at a very young age, and
Yes, I did.
you've been the backing singer for so many, I would say, really incredible, stellar artists.
That's absolutely the truth. That is so true.
And yet there's still an element of, not still, there is an element of humility about you, Diane. There's a wisdom about Diane Mathis, and there's almost like an acceptance of this is where I am in my life, and actually understanding and appreciating the journey that's got you here. It might not have been easy, but just by that acceptance and knowing I'm not going to stay in this place.
Absolutely. You're very right. And as you said, Esther, I've been in the music business professionally. My first appearance on a professional stage was when I was 8 years old, and I was blessed to have a woman who took me on when my biological mother died. She was my dance teacher, and
Mm.
she really encouraged me. She motivated me. She loved on me, and she made me feel that I was valuable and worth. And one thing that she said to me that stuck with me my entire life, because as I was growing up, and I know a lot of people have experienced this across the world, um, racism has a way of creeping in, even in our own families. And I was considered dark skinned. And so I had a very low self esteem at that time, at 8 years old, right after my mother passed away. But my stepmother stood me in the mirror and she said, what do you see? And I said, a little black thing. And she said, oh, no, my God, that is not what I see in the mirror. I see a beautiful, talented young lady, gifts just beyond measure. And when she started saying these things to me, and encouraging me and making me know that I have value.
Mm,
That's when my life turned around. And I ended up writing a song dedicated to her. It's called Different Eyes. I see myself through different eyes because of how she encouraged and motivated me to love myself,
yes.
because that's the first thing that's imperative. In order for you to love yourself, love God, you can't love anyone else
Mm,
until you have accomplished that in your life. And so that was an epiphany for me, even as an 8-year old. So I'm grateful for her. God knows I wish she was still here, but
mm,
she opened the door for my talent to be exposed. She encouraged me. She put me in things that would let everybody see the talent that I possess, because I didn't really know how talented I was. I knew I loved singing and I knew I loved dancing, but she really honed in my talents and encouraged me and told me that I could do and be anything that I want to be. And that was what I wanted to be. I wanted to be an entertainer ever since I was 4 years old, because I loved to stand on top of the television when I was 4, watching the Mickey Mouse Club, singing and dancing. And my biological mother would spank my legs every day and say, "Get off that TV before you break your neck." But I knew I wanted to be like the little Mouseketeers with the Disney kids, and so I had a family that everybody could sing. And so I had learned how to sing harmony at 3 and 4 years old. So I
yeah.
came here singing. My mother told me when I was a little girl, she said, instead of crying when I was a baby, I had melody. When I wanted attention, I would have a like melody in my, talking and melody in requesting to be picked up rather than cry. And
Mm,
she said that she sang to me when I was in her womb. And so that I knew, I don't care what anybody say, I believe a mother connects even when the baby is in the womb. And so that musical thing that I came through, I think I just believe that. I do. I really do. That
mm.
that's the truth.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you. You're a very powerful orator, but also you can feel what comes through you is there's such a truth, and a truth that's been lived, but also coming from that, it's almost like that very clear space within. And that's a real blessing in every time I communicate with you, Diane.
Oh, thank you, Esther. Because my truth and my honesty is everything to me. Because I can only tell you what I've experienced through my life, and that it's the truth. I can't make these things up. These are things that I've experienced in my lifetime, and I'm so grateful for every experience that I've had, even some of the things that were not so cool, not so happy, not so great. But it made me realize that I'm able and capable to um, get through things.
Yes.
I've had some horrendous things, losing my mother at 7 years old on Christmas Day. She passed away in my arms. And 7 years old, I didn't understand the depth of what that was. And then I found out that my mother, I guess this is what someone told me, that my mother felt safe in my arms to just release her spirit. And
Wow.
that helped me get through her transition, because for years I didn't understand. I couldn't understand, but my sister had gone to school to be a nurse, graduated, first Black nurse at a prominent hospital in the city of Detroit, and she didn't know what to do. My brother was running around screaming and hollering. My father was almost like on a pogo stick. He had two legs and one pant leg, and he was trying to get it together. But because he had been drinking all day, there was no consciousness of what to do. And
Mm,
so I pulled my mother into my arms and wrapped her in a comforter that my sister had given us for Christmas. And that was what I did.
okay.
So if I could get through that, I can get through a whole lot of other things.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm just going to introduce my next
Oh,
guest.
hi, Carla. How are you?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Oh wow. I love the braids.
Oh, thank you.
You are just
Uh,
beautiful, Carla. You're just
Thank
beautiful.
you.
oh
Thank you
wow.
so much.
You're welcome.
Well, Carla, let me just do some of the introductions. And Diane, this lovely lady Diane is co-hosted with me today. I had the privilege of interviewing her a couple of months ago, and I just really loved her energy, her vibration, her message, her wisdom. And so I thought it would be nice for her to co-join this show with me. And Diane, and ladies and gentlemen, this is Carla Cook, the daughter of the legend Sam Cooke. But she's a legend in her.
Oh my God, one of my favorite entertainers.
Oh.
Absolutely. I grew up on his music.
Wow.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
look well. I
Thank
love
you.
beautiful,
Nice
beautiful.
to be here with you ladies today.
Thank you.
Well, it's
Thank
so
you.
nice to meet you. Absolutely.
Well, Carla, I know that, I mean, I remember the last time I interviewed you, which was a couple of years ago, because you were in my magazine as well.
Hmm.
And I remember from that conversation how calm you were, but also when you spoke about the music and yes, your father, but also what music means to you, what it's doing to you, what you are doing with the music, and how you are keeping your father's legacy alive, but also how Carla is also bringing out the emergence of who she is. I remember, I think you had said your kids were at a stage now where you can let go
Yes.
and really immerse yourself in your own music.
Yeah.
Um,
They are all grown, thank God. And yeah, it's just a blessing to be able to do this now, with everything that's going on. It's just a blessing at this age to be able to go out and represent my father and spread his music all across the country. And I'm just grateful and thankful that I can do it.
yeah. And you've done a cover. I noticed also you've done a cover by Nina Simone, and I'm going to play that shortly. And
Oh, wonderful.
that's Cinnamon. She's just done a cover on Cinnamon. Um,
Oh,
why you
awesome.
Nina Simone?
Hmm. Yes, I did that. I did a album where I did a duet. I'm sorry, a duet with Joe Louis Walker, and his record label Cleopatra Records enlisted me to record Cinnamon. They
Mm,
needed it for a movie or something that they were trying to do, and they wanted to know what I liked to sing it. And I said yes. It was a lot, I had to encompass myself to get around to doing Nina Simone. She is
yeah.
so wonderful. But I put myself into it, and I got it together and I did it. So I'm proud
Awesome.
of it.
You did.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Diane, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say that in this time to be able to celebrate, well, your father's going to be celebrated forever and ever and ever because he was one of the most innovative entertainers, owning his own publishing, his own record company. And for us to have someone to look up to like Sam Cooke because of the things that he was doing, it's amazing because anytime we can break away and show our independence and accomplish the things that he did is absolutely incredible. And my hat is definitely off to him and also Nina Simone because Nina Simone was a groundbreaking personality too. And
Yes.
Well,
so I honor all of the people that opened the doors for me as well as for you.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
I agree with you totally. Yes. It's just amazing that my father, even Nina Simone, like you said, their music has stood the test of time. I mean,
Oh,
it's really
absolutely.
prevalent today as well. So
It
I
speaks to
take
the
it to the future.
masses. It
Yes.
speaks to the masses even after all of these years because
Yes.
reality is, my dear, nothing has changed.
Mm-mm.
Unfortunately, that is the truth. We
Yes.
are still facing the same situations and issues that Nina Simone faced and that your
Hmm.
dad faced with the music industry
Yes.
and just in the country period. Absolutely.
Yes.
but then this sort of goes back to a track that your father sang when he says a change is going to come. And I do believe that on some level there has been some change, but maybe it's not the amount of change that's been expected. And, with artists like yourselves, whether you're singing your father's songs or bringing out your own. And Diane, the music that you're creating and the words that you're writing, you are still inspiring people to keep moving forward, to not give up. You know, the fight, whatever you want to, it's probably always going to be there. But every time you put one foot in front of the next, it makes it a little easier for someone somewhere. And also it gives inspiration to someone who's watching your journey and listening to your music.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
We're going to walk with you.
And I believe that's our responsibility. It's your responsibility, Carla, because of the fact that your father was an amazing trendsetter. So, all the things that your father stood for, you have to stand for too,
Mhm.
because any change that's going to come comes with consistency of expecting change to come, putting the effort to make the change come. Because nothing changes if we're stagnant and we don't
Right.
move, change.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. You can't give up. You have to keep moving forward. And I think first and
Absolutely.
foremost, you have to put God in your life and
Hey, that's
have the
number
Holy
one.
Spirit to cover
That's
you and
it.
help you and keep you
That's
strong
it.
and keep moving
Absolutely.
forward um,
Absolutely.
all the way. Because if we don't, then where would we be?
Absolutely.
You
Because
have to keep moving.
absolutely, because in this situation that we are experiencing right now with pandemics happening and
Hmm.
it is all across the world. It isn't just in the United States. It's in the UK.
Hmm.
It's in India, it's everywhere.
Oh,
And so as a group of humanity, we have to help make the changes from wherever we are, for whatever way we can. Even the smallest change helps because we are all in this together. I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
something my mother used to say. She said, "No man is an island. We are all in this together because we are all under one God. I don't care what you call him. He is, there is only one God
Hmm.
that is the creator of all things. And if you give up on that thought or belief, you're doomed
Yeah.
mm,
because nobody has the power to do anything without that creator.
Right.
And that's it. That's it. And
Hmm.
his quest was, I want everybody to love each other. I
Yeah.
want everybody to empower each other. I want everybody to lift each other up. And
mm,
that's where humanity has failed. There are people that are doing amazing things across the world, but we still have to keep going forward to pull our race of people together because it's only one race, the
Hmm.
human race. That's
excellent.
it. That's it.
Excellent. But you know, you said something, you both said something key there. We talk about love. And Diane, when we were talking originally, you said your stepmother taught you how to love yourself. And
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you, what did that look like? What did that feel like? Because sometimes if we say you got to love yourself, people think, what does that mean before you can love somebody else? But how? And then what does that look like?
Well, it to love yourself, you have to first of all know that you're human. You make mistakes. You
Hmm.
have to forgive yourself and expect the fact and understand the fact that you're not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. There's only one perfect being, and that is our creator. But we've got to learn how to respect who we are, even with our shortcomings. And don't beat yourself up because you made a mistake or you let this happen to you, because circumstances happen. And it depends on how you
Deal with it.
process what
Mm,
has happened to you,
Hmm.
because I've seen people that have had devastations in their lives and they have come out of it because of their mindset, because they accepted the fact that there's always a chance that something will come better. But it's like you have to look at the cup half full and not half empty.
empty. Yeah.
Because when you see a empty or half empty cup, then what do you have? What do you have? Half of anything is never going to be what you need. Like
Yeah.
even in love relationships, I say this all the time, and I wrote a song, and people say I'm crazy when I say this. I say that love is a 100% effort. It's not a 50-50 effort, because if you got 50 over here and 50 over here, you still have
Hmm.
half. So everybody has to be 100% vested in the
All
relationship.
right. Yes.
If you're not vested in the relationship, if you're not vested in yourself, if you
Absolutely.
half stepping, you're gonna get half step results.
I'm feeling a
Am,
high five.
am I preaching to the choir?
And
And
there's
that's the
always
truth.
room for change. I mean, whatever you did in the past, I mean, tomorrow is another day for you to move forward.
Absolutely.
You know, you
Absolutely.
can't hold on to
Today,
the past. That's what will just
that,
drain you and take you
absolutely.
out. And you
Absolutely.
have to just keep a fresh mind that you can always change and do it better.
And you say tomorrow's another day, but if you make a mistake at 7:30 in the morning, you can still make a change for the better at 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's
So
right.
you messed up at 7, but at 6 p.m. you can make a change. You know what I'm saying? I
Is
mean,
that
that's how I live. That's how I live my life.
Uh-huh.
That's it. And that's the only way I have been able to get through life because I was like, okay, I messed up here. I didn't do this. I should have done that. But guess what? That's over. That's done. That's past. Okay, what can I do
Mhm.
now to make it better for myself and other people? That's it.
excellent? Excellent. Excellent. Love that. well,
That's
well,
it.
what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play that track by Carla Cinnamon, and
Oh,
then
I can't wait to hear it.
we can continue the conversation. And
Well,
what's really nice about this new system, ladies, is that it fields questions. So now I can pick up questions, and I can. Um, this is amazing. This is amazing. So, Anthony Walker, someone's in the waiting room. Anyway, let's play this track and then we'll come back on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin, co-hosted with Diane Mathis. And I've got the beautiful, the stunning Carlo Cook here today. And we're just going to be talking music and we're going to hopefully inspire you. So this is Cinnamon by Carlo Cook.
Oh, Cinnamon, we're gonna run to. Cinnamon, we're gonna run to. We're gonna run to. All on that day, well, I run to the rock. Please hide me, I run to the rock. Hide me, I run to the rock. Please hide me here, all on that day. But the rock cried out, I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I can't hide you, the rock cried out. I ain't gonna hide you there, all on that day. I said, rock, what's the matter with you, rock? Don't you see I need you, rock? Lord, 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 all on that day. So I ran to the river, it was bleeding, I ran to the sea.
Just want to get up. I'm really trying not to shake too much. Holding the speaker.
All on that day.
Oh, that is absolutely fabulous. I was really trying not to shake because I was holding the speaker box again.
I love those old songs. Because I'm an old head, so I love the old music because that
Oh,
was real music and the storylines that the old music tells. Because when I listen to the radio now, I'm like, what in the world is going on?
mm,
Because I don't get it. I really don't. So I love the music that comes from the women who have stories to tell. And of course, Nina Simone was very strong
yeah.
and I like the sound of your voice, Carla. You have a great voice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Absolutely
Thank you
awesome.
so much. I
Where
appreciate
do you
it
where
from
do you
you.
live, Carla? What
I'm
city
sorry.
what city do you live in?
I live in Michigan. I live in right out of St. Clair Shores, Michigan.
Oh, you're not far from me.
I'm not.
That's awesome. Yes,
Where are
absolutely.
you?
I live on the east side of Detroit between Ryan and DeQuinda area.
Oh, I'm not far
So
from you.
yeah, I'm right in the hood.
Okay. Nuh-uh.
Well, you know that's what they call
Okay.
it. But that's where
Mm-hmm.
I live. and I'm
You have
proud of it.
family over there.
Awesome. I have a beautiful home I'm very proud of, and I know someone that you know very well, Mr.
Uh-oh.
David Washington.
Yes, that's my
David
brother. That's my
Washington is
brother.
I know David Washington speaks of you all the time. That
That's
is my
my brother.
friend.
I
I,
love him.
I love David too. I just did an interview with him,
You know
and
what? You did. And I heard
I
your
did.
interview.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's that's my buddy, and he's very supportive of everything that I've done. The reason why I'm asking if you're in Michigan because I wrote a musical. Can I tell us that, Esther?
You can indeed, but your friend Anthony D. Walker, he's just coming into
Oh,
the.
Anthony, that's my producer.
Oh,
That's
your
Anthony.
producer. Okay,
Yes, Anthony is my producer. Anthony Walker and
okay, he can
Dwayne
come
Smith.
in. He can come in. But yes, you can tell about your because I think I've got your play up here as
Oh,
well.
great. I hope you do.
Because
Well,
I'm
Carla, let me tell you,
Yes,
I wrote a
please.
musical that would be perfect with you being a part of it. It's called You Ain't Paid No Dues Until You Heard My
Mhm.
Blues. And it's a story about a young girl who's made it in the music business and she's very
God, I hope this.
crazy. And I have all the greats: Eartha Kitt, Bessie Smith, Big Mama Thornton, Hattie McDaniels. All
Wow.
of them come back and visit her and take her into their life to tell her about all the things that they did to open the door for her. And
Uh-huh.
so she's thinking that she's done all these things on her own. But of course, she's got this terrible attitude. So it's a very powerful story because it gives accolades to the women who open the doors for us. And it also teaches a lesson in forgiveness and understanding that despite what has happened to you, you
Mhm.
should still always have love and forgiveness in
Mm,
your life. Because if you don't forgive, you cannot ever move forward.
Wow.
And
brilliant.
that's true.
That sounds wonderful.
So
And
this is just an excerpt that I did of it.
Okay.
okay, so I'm just going to play that and just like to welcome Anthony D. Walker into the studio as well. He's
Hi,
here
Aunt.
in Diane.
Hello.
Hello.
And just to remind everyone, you're listening to On the Sofa with Esther on LN Soul Radio, where neo soul and R&B lives or meets. So I'm just going to play an excerpt from this that Diane was talking about, and then I'm going to come back and ask Carla a few more questions about. You've also done, I think you've done a retake of your father's "A Change Is Gonna Come." So
Mhm.
Awesome.
we need to sort of talk about that. But this is just an excerpt from what Diane Mathis was just sharing with us all.
Rain doesn't stop my crowds. Why did it have to rain so hard on my opening night? Mm. I paid my dues. Now it's all about to go up in smoke. Oh, and my fake friends. Jealous because they can't be me. Lena, can't nobody do it like I can.
That's right. Blame it on the rain. Instead of blaming it on the real problem. Your attitude. Poor Lena has paid all those dues, and look at where it's got you.
Wait a minute, who are all you people? I'm about to call security. Security!
You don't even know who we are. You see, Miss Lena, we've been informed about your ego and your ugly attitude. And that's why we do.
Oh, you're beautiful. And you can sing. But imagine doors being closed in your face over and over because you are better yet, you're nervous before a show. And you have to pee. Either hold it or you pee in this cup because you can't use the white man's bathroom. Oh, I'm sorry. You dropped something. You think you superior? You try dealing with folks who throw you scraps when you're at the top of your game. Love you when they're making the money. Lord, it's a shame how you ego tripping. And who are you again?
You ain't paid no dues until you heard our blues.
You don't have help make the road much smoother. We made the game. We open closed doors for you, so the world will know your name.
So yeah, that's an excerpt from that. And I think, just talking to you ladies today, it just really shows, as Diana was saying, as we were talking about before, Carla, the shoulders that,
Mm,
yourselves as artists have built, grown on, but also with your father as well. As Diane said earlier, your father is still so much loved and so respected. And it's just great now that you are in a place where you're going to just carry his legacy forward as you evolve into your own self. And Carlo, I mean, what would you say are the three top attributes that you feel you have carried forward or received from your father as you sort of go forward with your mission now? It's a mission, isn't it?
the three top attributes.
Mm,
Oh, um, the feel of the music.
mm,
Music is just everything. He couldn't get away from it. I can't get away from it. Um, I just love music, and even though I raised my children, I have 7 kids. Been married for 33 years, and
wow.
even then, I couldn't get away from it. So when they all got older, and I just said it's my time now, and I need to go out and do this thing and see if I can do it and do it well and represent my father well. Connecting with the audience, I think, is one. Um, let's see, one more. Um, wow, he had a keen sense of stability and knowing who he was and
Definitely.
what he wanted to achieve uh, as far in music and as far as a person as himself. And I think I have that too. Uh,
Mm. He made a
what I
stand.
want to do.
He was prepared to make a stand, and he made a stand. And I think that's what really comes across with your father time and time again. When you watch interviews with him or you hear other artists talk about him, he was one man that made a stand, but also his good looks. Because I believe last time,
Oh yeah, he was fine. Absolutely, he was all handsome.
and and Diane, I mean, you spoke. I know last time when I interviewed you, you touched on Sam Cooke as well, because as you said, he was fine and stuff
Yes,
like
he
that.
was. And his voice was so
Oh,
memorable. When you heard, you knew it was Sam Cooke. Even when he was singing gospel and he had the one song out, Wonderful, and it came
mm-hmm,
from a gospel song and he used a different name, we
mm-hmm.
still knew it was Sam Cooke.
The
You couldn't
lovable. He
hide that
changed
voice.
wonderful to lovable.
Oh yeah, Lovable. That was it.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes. You couldn't hide that voice. No
Yes.
matter what you titled it or what name you used, we
He was,
knew it was still him.
yeah,
Absolutely.
he was unique. He was unique. And
Yes.
in terms of moving forward, Carla, where are you going now? I mean, now that you're free, what have you got in the pipeline?
I'm working on some new music. Hopefully with somebody. I don't want to say it, but hopefully with this one person. I'm waiting on him. I'm starting in September. I've written my music, got it together. Just needed to be tweaked a little. So
All
I should
right.
be out with a new album soon. I think by what, October or something like that. I've been
Okay.
working on this for a while now, and I'm like, dang, everybody's coming out with so much stuff, and I haven't got my stuff out yet. But
Well, you know what, Carla, you when things are supposed to be, because I believe in divine appointment. When
mm-hmm,
it's your time,
it's your
I learned that lesson from the Father. When it's your time, it may not be in your time because
yeah.
we want what we want right now, like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are a microwave people. We want everything instantly.
I
But
like
when it's your time, things will come. And when it's your time, everything that needs to be in place will
that.
come to you. You don't have to go looking for it or
Yeah.
searching for it or begging for it. it will come because it's your time.
Yes.
And that's it.
And
I believe.
what we're gonna do now, I want to just say hello to Anthony because Anthony is in the wings silently. Anthony,
Hello?
hello,
I don't know if
hello,
you
sir,
guys can hear me.
hello. Yes, I can hear
Hello?
you. Want to bring you in? Can I can hear you?
Oh, yeah, I'm just here to watch and see what's going on with you guys and support Diane and her music.
Brilliant,
Thank
brilliant. Well, I want to have a little word from you because it's nice to have you as part of this as well, Anthony. Diane is an incredible young lady, so young lady, and she looks amazing as well. I mean, when she said how old she was in the last interview, I'm like, you what?
I'm not ashamed, Esther,
I,
because I'm grateful that I'm still here because I lived longer than both of my parents, my biological mother, my stepmother, and my father. I've lived longer than all three of them. So I am grateful. I'm blessed. That's
It's a
it.
blessing.
That's it.
it is.
It's a
It
blessing.
is.
I
It's
got
true.
carded the other day. I got carded yesterday. I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." Carded me. Let me give you my license.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Absolutely. Carla, you say you have 7 children. You've been married how many years?
33.
Bless your heart. That
Yeah.
is an accomplishment in itself to have 7 beautiful children, a wonderful husband, and to
Yeah.
be able to be carded with 7 kids. Darling, you are doing it. That's all I can say.
Blessed. It is a true blessing. And 7 grandkids. I got a new grandbaby.
Oh, bless your
Wow.
heart.
Oh,
Oh, that's so sweet.
yeah.
Wow. And how did you manage through someone's giving messages? How did you manage throughout lockdown, Carla? Did you a lot of this new music that you're going to bring out during, later down in the year, was that sort of created? Was that sort of part of the birthing process throughout lockdown? And how have you managed?
I did, yeah, I did create some of my songs during lockdown. It's been a challenge, but it's been good to rest and just
Yes.
be still. You know, we haven't been on the road or anything because we couldn't do that. So it's coming back together, but I made it through. With the
Yeah.
grace of God, I made it through.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. And Diane, what about you? What was the process like for you during lockdown?
Well, during the pandemic, that is when I did most of my writing the songs that I'm doing now. Welcome Back Home. I recorded that. And Anthony, didn't we do that like in February of this year?
Yeah, yes, we
We did
did.
it
It
in
was early.
February. We were in a lockdown, but we were able to get in the studio, and it was just the producer, the 2 producers, the engineer, and myself. And of
Social
course, it was
distance.
social distancing. I wore my mask until it was time for me to go on and record. The same thing with the new song that we're working on, Slow Love. I went in the studio and recorded that during the pandemic, and I've just been steadily writing all the time because I write anyway because that's something that I write 24/7. I don't know why. It's like if I hear something while I'm in the shower, I have
Mm,
to get out and put it on my phone
Yes.
recorder and then write the words down right quick before I forget.
Yes.
So I mean that's a blessing that I can say that I've been given, that I can write a song. Give me, like Anthony gave me some music to listen to for Slow Love. And he told me that was the title. I started writing it immediately as soon as I heard the music. It just came to me. We were driving and I started writing the music, and we did a demo when we got to where we were going. And I'm
wow.
like, that's how
Yes.
God has been working with me. And I've been writing songs since I was about 8 years old. I know I wrote my first song. I got my first copyright when I was probably about 15 or 14 years old,
Mm,
and it cost $10 back then. And so I would save my little money. So when I come up with a song, and I had friends that maybe play the guitar or maybe play the piano, and I'd sing with them, and they'd say, okay, I put it on my little cassette tape, and I'd send my cassette tape off to Washington with my little $10 and my typed up lyrics. So That's how long I've been writing songs.
Excellent, excellent.
Man, you
I'm
are
trying to pull up
friends.
your song,
Oh,
actually. As you no, keep talking because I'm trying to put up your song as we're talking and try not to make it look so obvious. So continue.
friends with somebody with the family that I know very well that's dear to my heart. The Bakers, baby doll is
Get out of here.
yes.
I was just over Elsie's house
Were
on
you?
third. Yes, I was because
Oh
I sang
my
with.
gosh.
I was the lead singer with them when I
I
turned
know.
15,
I
and
love
I was just over her house. It was me and Dot. We had chicken, and
that.
well, we had Church's chicken, and we had Verner's ginger ale. We were
Oh
sitting
my
around
goodness.
her table, and we laughed, we cried. Oh my
Moni is
God.
my best friend. Moni is
Get
my best
out
friend.
of
That's
here.
my sister.
Girl, I've been knowing they have been my friends for 56 years. And I mean
Wow.
all three of them, Joyce,
Yes.
Dot, and Baby Dot.
Yes. I
I love the whole Baker family. I have
love
sang
them too.
at
That's my family. I love them
oh
too.
mine too. I have sang at weddings, funerals.
Ah,
I mean, I have performed for so much stuff with the Baker family.
oh
I
my
absolutely
goodness.
love every one of them. They are my friends for life.
Yes.
Yes. I did not know that. I am so excited.
Yes.
I can't wait to call Elk and tell her that
Yes.
I interviewed with you today. That is so
It
awesome.
is.
That is so amazing.
Small world.
It
Yes,
It's a
is.
it
small
is.
world.
But the one thing about it is small world is when you connect yourself with beautiful people,
Yes.
you continue to circulate beautiful people in your life. And the
Mhm.
Baker family and Joyce and her sister Pam and Dot have just beautiful people,
Mm.
friends for life. And that's the absolute blessing to have friends for life. I've
It
got
is.
friends from grade school still. I'm
Yeah.
blessed. I'm telling you, I've been doubly blessed. And that's the absolute truth. I'm so excited to know that. That
Oh,
is so
yes.
cool. That is so cool.
I see
Absolutely.
this has happened again. You know, every time on this show, I call it, it's almost like a reunion.
Yeah.
Remember the last time I had interviewed the Emotions and
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Sharma and Lloyd G. Williams, Otis Day and the Knights. And I
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
had got my timings wrong, and everybody was lined up in the studio. I'm like, I've got my timings wrong because that week the clocks had gone forward in the States, and so I
Hmm.
just everybody in, and there was 2 hours of this
It was
incredible
so
time.
much fun. It was because singing with the Emotions was like a dream come true for me.
I love it.
Because they
Yes.
asked me to sing with them and I just fell right
Wow.
in with the harmony. And I mean, it was just so nice just to meet up with somebody that I have always had a love for because the Emotions were one of my favorite girls groups.
Hmm.
I'm telling you. And when I was in my 20s, I was with a group and we used to sing all the Emotion songs. Oh, we did all that. We did all their songs. Flowers and um Don't Ask My Neighbor.
Oh,
And I mean, wow, it
love
was
it.
it was it was so cool just to be able to talk to those ladies. What a blessing. And now you, what a
And then,
blessing.
Yes.
absolutely, and then on the other side of this, I've got Gregory Williams from Switch. You know, they're
One of
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite groups too.
Oh,
Yep.
so
yes.
it's going to be a fantastic show. Well, what we're going to do, ladies and gents, we're going to go over to a brief break, and then on the other side, I'm going to come back. Hopefully, I'll be able to pull up your track. A change is
Awesome.
going to come, Carla. But
Awesome.
thank you so much for joining me today, and it's
You.
nice sitting back listening to you guys because it's almost like homecoming, isn't it? I can imagine, you know, let's have a piece of chicken, let's do this. You know, it's so, ladies and
That
gentlemen.
is great.
You're listening to On the Sofa with myself, truly Esther Austin, and I'm just gonna before we go over to that break.
Every Sunday between 8 and 10 p.m. GMT, where she's interviewing the finest artists from the past and present, garnished with quality music. She also has health motivation with Treyan, founder of Inside Out Lifestyle. So that's On the Sofa with Esther each and every Sunday between 8 and 10 p.m. GMT, right here on LN Soul Radio, where Neo Soul, R&B and chat lives.
Okay, brilliant. Well, the video that I was going to pull up, it's doing its twiddly thing. So I guess we're going to have to just continue the conversation because it's been loaded, but it's pretending to load. So Carla, for anybody who's sitting on the sidelines who wants to step into the realm, because you're a mother of 7, you've been married for 33 years, and now you're just going to take the world by storm. What is it that's kept you inspired? Because I'm sure bringing up 7 children must have been quite challenging. In between. I mean, I guess I'm just expecting that, but it may not have been. But in between, you just holding on to your vision that one day I'm going to be doing my own thing. What kept you going?
Being in church and doing, because I was reared up in the church pretty much like my father, and that's where I got my musical training from, which most singers do from church, because they take you through everything. You have to learn how to sing harmony.
That's right. That's
do
right.
Individual parts, but yeah, instilling in them and being in church and just we had fun. I had fun with my kids. I took them. We did everything together. But when they were little, we used to sit in the dark. I used to have them sit in the dark, and everybody would do their own little songs. I'm like, okay, now it's your turn to sing. It's your turn to sing, or you do something that you want to do. We just did a whole lot of things, and it just kept me inspired throughout the years. I never gave up on music. I was singing in church. I did my concerts in church every year. When I was young, I think I was about 12, 13 or something. I told my musical director I wanted to do God is Truly Amazing by Denise Williams.
Oh my gosh.
I love that song. And so
me too.
I sung that at Moni's her daughter's baby shower.
Okay.
But I did that, and once I sung that, they asked me to give concerts. Did I want to do concerts every year for Youth Month? But I was shy back then, so I had to enlist 2 of my girlfriends. I'm like, you guys got to come on and do this with me. So we started giving concerts every year. I think we did it up until I was 20 something in church every year. So I never left the music. I was always there. I just hadn't ventured out on my own and tried to go out and tour or anything. I never wanted to be in the music business because I was scared. I didn't want to sign anybody's contracts.
I understand.
No, I had the chance. I did have the chance. My mother took me to Las Vegas to sing, but I got back on the plane. I didn't sign that contract. I was just scared of signing anybody's contracts. So I never did it until I got.
That's understandable.
I turned 50, and I was like, okay, God, it's my time now. Please just lead me in the way that I need to go in order to get this done. And literally after I prayed my prayer, I got a phone call, and it was a gentleman on the line and said that he had heard me sing. I had drove one of the Tuskegee Airmen down to his aunt's funeral up in Maine, and his wife, the guy's wife, heard me sing. And I guess she went back and told him about it. He was the booking agent. And he called me and asked me would I like to do the Daughters of Legends.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. It was with Diana Ross's daughter. We went on tour for a couple of, we did about 3 shows or 4 shows together. And then we branched out on our own. So, yeah. That's how it happened.
See, Carla, that's what I was talking about. That divine appointment. That was destiny for you. That was already preordained for that to happen to you.
Yeah, I believe that.
And that's a great concept. Daughters of Legends. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, we did a few shows together. They were pretty successful. We traveled. Where did we go? We went back to Maine. We did a festival in Maine. We did up in Connecticut. We did a few places, different places, and then we started going out on our own.
Okay.
She joined her mother on her tour, and then
I've seen her with her mother. And Rhonda's awesome. I love her show. I love her performance. I love her son. Her son is so amazing. He is just a bundle of joy.
Yes, he is.
Oh, wow. I mean, this is, for me, this has been an incredible time with you ladies because I'm sitting here learning so much from yourself. But what is so nice is just the connection between you both. And
Absolutely.
it's not just in terms of who you know, but just the energetic connection in the
Mhm,
house
Yeah.
mhm.
at this moment in time. And it's all God inspired as well. And, even Anthony's sitting there nodding his head, and we're both thinking, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I one thing that is very important to me, um, we have to give back. We have to reach out to help the younger people coming into the music business
Mhm.
because there are some pitfalls that you can face. Like you said, Carla, you didn't want to sign contracts. I understand. I've been there, I've done that. Waste of time. And there were things that they wanted from me that I was not willing to do. So
Mhm.
sometimes, like I said, what is for you will be the right thing
Yeah.
for you. My son said something to me years ago, and it kind of, at first, it hurt my feelings. He said, "Ma, maybe you didn't make it in the music business when you were younger because it was so many things that may have been traps for you and wasn't good for you." Because I had told him that I had signed, I was with Capitol Records, and I
Mhm.
was offered a deal. But of course, it was what they call the casting couch deal. And because
Mm,
I didn't want to
Yeah.
deal with the casting couch, my record was pulled off the radio. And that's the truth.
Wow.
But my mother said to me, my stepmother said to me, she said, I told you when you got in this business, there would be people that will come to you with propositions. And
mm,
if you decide to fall for what they're offering you, will you be able to look at yourself in the mirror the
wow.
next day? Or are you sure this person's going to guarantee your success? Nobody can guarantee success for you. Success comes with record promotion, your record being played on the radio, being doing shows, and how well you come across to the audience. And so I thought about all the things that she said, and I said, no, I'm not doing that. So my record came off. So I just think I think that what my son said was true. That might have been the worst decision for me as a young girl because of course being a young girl I was vulnerable, but I always had an older wisdom because I listened to what my stepmother told me, and everything she said was true. Absolutely, everything she said was true. Your talent will take you where you need to go. Nobody else can guarantee success.
Mhm.
So that's one of the
Me.
things that these young girls don't seem to understand. They do
Nope.
things because they feel it's okay. I heard a song yesterday on the internet and it just kind of hurt me to my heart because the vulgarity that the young lady was spewing out of her mouth, song that she was singing. And I'm looking at this girl, beautiful, beautiful young lady. But the words that she was coming out of her mouth with the song that she wrote, I was like, why?
Mm,
You don't have to do this to get to where you think you want to go. But they think that's what they have to do. So
Yep.
that's what they're doing.
and that's why what the music that you are putting out now, that's why it's so invaluable and important. And Carla, in winding down with this session, I've still been trying to put your music up. I've still got Cinnamon there, so I might have to just play that again. Um, um, but what would you say to these young women who are coming up who want to be successful, who want to be seen, and to you know what would you say to them in terms of just stay in your lane, hold on to the respect for yourself. What would you share?
Unfortunately, the music business has not changed much.
Mm,
They want you to do everything and anything. They want to put you in a bubble,
Yep.
take you out of who you really are, change
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
And they think that sex is the ultimate thing
yes.
that's going to make you sell.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
And
the girls, they fall for it. They just do it because really it's a shame, but that's what brings attention
Yeah.
Mm,
in this music business. That's all you
but how
see.
long is that going to last,
It's
Carla?
not gonna last. They have a few records,
mm,
and here comes along the next thing.
Yep, and then you get a reputation that you are willing to do this, thus, and
Anything.
so, and then you get a bad reputation, and then people don't want to deal with you. You're a money maker for them. That's why it's great that the internet has opened up for artists like you and me, because we don't have to go through any record company. We
No.
can put our music on streaming services. Excuse me. And if they like
the best way.
buy it. That's it.
That's the best way. It's so many avenues now. You can make your own music, record your own music. You can put it out there yourself because of streaming and not records.
Right.
That used to be in the past. You have an avenue and an outlet to get your own music heard.
Absolutely.
Millions of people.
That's right.
And the internet. So you can get on social media and get your music played. It's so many.
And if you're doing stuff that people like, they're going to support you.
Just like and radio stations will play your music as well, because there's so many different stations out there now that you can disseminate your music to. And even, especially through lockdown, everyone on Instagram, everyone was on Instagram, a lot of the artists and the stars will be on Instagram or on Facebook. So it gave them that leveraging of who they were, and they were in control of that. And so, Carla, I'm going to wind down this particular session with you, and I will get your track up along the way. I can introduce that into the interview afterwards. But it's been a real pleasure. It's always a pleasure to have your energy. And for me, one of the highlights of this evening was just watching you two. It's almost like, auntie meeting, that sort of vibe. And you definitely are a strong individual in your own right. You definitely have your father's spirit and good looks as well. Yes, Diane, we know the good looks. But also, it's when I also asked you that question in terms of how was it challenging bringing up 7 kids on your own and still having, but I didn't even feel it was a challenge, because you've just got this fluidity about you, isn't it, Diane? There's this fluidity about you in terms of how you've lived your life. And so I'm just hoping to hear more from you and of you later down in the year. And by then I will be able to put up your track. Technology. And Player Change is going to come, and hopefully by the end of the show I will be able to access that as well. But I just want to say thank you always for your time.
Thank you, Diane. So good to see you.
Oh, thank you, sweetheart. It's so good to finally get a chance to meet you, because David talks about you all the time. And now that I know you are friends with the Bakers, we have another connection. And I really would like to communicate with you, Carla, because I'm never going to give up on my project, because I believe I've only done it as an excerpt, but it is a complete project from beginning to end. And I wrote all the music for it.
My daughter's an actress too, actor.
Wonderful. So see how things come together, because I'm looking to do this on a larger scale. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I believe with all my heart that sooner or later it's going to get done, because the message is wonderful. The message is empowering, the forgiveness, learning that nobody stands alone, that we all must help each other become who we are to be, because as a human race, that's what we came here for. Like my mother said, no man is an island. We are all here to help each other.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll share your details after this.
Okay. Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Carla. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I will play the track before the end of the show. Having a great time and On the Sofa with Esther on LN Soul Radio. Anthony, thanks for hanging in there. Diane, thanks for being there. And now I think my the adverts is going to work. Now let's see if this happens.
Available July 2021 in collaboration with Street Flair London. The theme of this issue, #Black Royalty. So what does this mean to you? In this issue, issue, we will be exploring a new, refreshing narrative and perspective. This is not a revolution, this is a celebration of self. Time to step into our personal power to enable the collective power. The responsibility lies with us. Great articles, empowered conversations, exclusives, art, culture, health and well-being, and much more. Join the conversation at #BlackRoyalty. And for further information, visit turningpointmag.com.
Wow, I love your concept of your magazine. That
Thank
is awesome. That is truly awesome. And do you have contributing art writers to your magazine, Esther?
I'm looking for some now, and we'll talk outside of this. But I'm looking for the contribution articles, but also to interview key people around this thing, because there's a really particular message around this. The message that we want to put out there is the links is about liberation, acceptance, and then also accountability. So the message really is, with Black Royalty, is about us taking the ownership and the responsibility to really step into owning who we are. You know, just like you said, people around you can say all they want, but it's how can we really embody who we really are, really, because you talked about your stepmother, Diane, taking you
Yes,
aside and sort of almost ministering into your soul. And that's what we all need to do. Once we come from that individual perspective, then can you imagine on a collective how powerful that would be? And I do feel
absolutely.
a lot of times we
Absolutely.
give away our power by pointing the finger, blame, whatever it is. I'm not saying that it's all the time, but you can imagine speaking those words into each spirit, each soul. That's powerful. That's absolutely powerful.
It really is, because once you speak into a person's life is what keeps people going, and
Absolutely.
everything that we put into especially the youth now, um, if we put power into them, knowing that they are capable and they're able to be a empowering factor in life, you can change their lives,
Yes.
because that's how many so many people didn't have someone to speak
Mhm.
into their life. And
Absolutely.
when somebody came along and said, "You can do this. I believe in you. I have faith in you," it turned people around. I know that for a fact, because I've been a substitute teacher. I was in the school system for almost 20 years. And
Mm.
I can tell you, I touched a lot of children's lives, because I remember I was in the dollar store one day. Do you have dollar stores in the UK?
We have power stores here, yes.
Okay. Well, I was in the dollar store one day, and a gentleman walked up to me and he said, "Miss Mathis." And I turned around, I said, "Yes." And I
Mm.
didn't remember him, but when he started talking to me, he said, "I'm Mariah Matt's father. I'm the father of the young lady who was in your charm school program." And he said, "You did so many things to change my daughter's attitude and behavior just by the way you represented yourself." And I was trying to teach them things that were life skills, like teaching them how to sew. I was teaching them how to work on their self-esteem, journaling and things like that. And so when he came up to me and he said, "I just want to thank you." And I'm saying, I have not seen this man in probably over 15 years, but I must have made a real impact in that child's life, because he sought me out after he saw me in the dollar store. So I'm grateful that I did something to help a young lady,
Mm.
because it's so important to have somebody speak life into you. It's
Absolutely.
so important. That's what my stepmother did. She spoke life into me, because I was broken. I was hurting. I was without a mother. I had no father connection. My father was sending me here and there and everywhere, because he didn't know what to do with a 7-year old.
But then you were able to use that experience, and that's why we're gonna. Gregory Williams is in the room. Greg.
Hey,
Hi, Greg. How are you?
hello. I'm fine. Esther, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And Greg, I'm just going to do some introductions, and then I've actually found the track of change is going to come. So I just need to play that before we come to Greg. But ladies and gentlemen, I've got Greg Williams from Switch. I've interviewed this gentleman several times, and I'm always harassing him. Greg, can you come on? And he's always willing to come on and talk about his journey. So Greg, introducing Diane Mathis. She's co-hosting with me today.
Hello,
And,
Hi,
Diane.
Greg. How are you?
and
Wonderful. I want to tell you, I was a big fan of Switch.
Was?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I still am. But I'm saying when Switch came
I know
on the
what you
radio,
mean.
it was an
I
instant
know what you
jam
mean.
party. Absolutely.
okay.
Thank you very much. So,
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
the support.
Quickly. And then this gentleman here, Anthony Walker, is Diane's producer. So
How are you, sir?
Hello, hello. How are you?
Hey, man, life is good. What about with you?
Oh yes, all the time.
all the
Very
time.
good.
I'm just happy. I'm just happy to see Diane being able to do what it is that she likes to do, what she
I heard
loves.
that. I heard
Thank
that.
you,
Well,
Anthony.
it's my pleasure meeting both of you. And Esther, per
Thank
always,
you.
you and me, always a pleasure.
Always, always. And you never know, I might be knocking on your door for something else. But before we go any further,
Sugar? No, go on. Excuse me.
sorry, I'd just like to play. Actually, I'm going to play a change is going to come at the end. I'm going to play a change is going to come at the end. I'm going to play this by Switch now. I've managed to upload this.
Ooh, this was my jam. Oh my God, this is my
Oh
jam.
yeah.
A little bit, but I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it.
Since we are lying here for the first time, you and I, show me what you do for me, and then
Who's that? Ooh.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, yes,
that's
Oh yeah.
fantastic. Um,
That was the jam.
yes, it was. That's the jam right there.
Thank you.
wow. So, Greg, well, I'm going to ask you, and I have to ask you this question. Who is Greg in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or a coconut shell?
Okay. No game.
That's
Okay.
it.
I am the founder leader of the group Switch. I am a writer, arranger, producer, singer, musician. And as of late, I am an author and all around nice guy who loves popcorn.
Oh.
What flavor?
Okay. What flavor popcorn?
Yeah.
Well, actually, with butter, salt, butter and salt, but a well-kept mine is I put Frank's hot sauce on mine some of the time.
Oh wow.
For real?
Much of the time.
He keeping it real.
Not too much. Don't drown it in hot sauce. Put a little on for
Just a
flavor.
little sprinkle.
Flavor.
It's cool.
Well, tonight, Greg, we're going to be talking about your book, Switch, The Barge, Music and Me.
Motown and me.
Motown and Me.
Awesome.
Motown and Me. And I mean, I'm going to give you an open floor now because I know when I've interviewed you in the past, we've spoken about so many different things. We've spoken about the past, but I'd really like to focus on the book and what the book has to share about your journey. So I'm going to give you that space now, because I remember last time you said, I can talk about this for another hour. So you've got some space and time. I will interject.
Okay.
It would be really great to give us an insight into this incredible book.
Thank you. Absolutely. I'd love to.
So the beginning, you are the founder of Switch, and you wear so many different hats. And like I said before, it's really interesting because the word switch just means it's almost like an acronym, because each artist had to be able to switch roles, which I just thought was really, really interesting. Do you want to expand on that a bit?
Absolutely. Well, in formulating the band, I've been with quite a few bands over the years, and I was in the singing and stepping group. So I was kind of versatile. I played everything but guitar as a kid. So in trying to formulate a band that was going to be able to get through, cut through all the garbage and win over the public and the girls and the record companies and the whole shot, I put some effort and serious thought into what kind of band I was going to create that would stand apart from others. In the course of that thought process, it was like, okay, I want guys that play more than one instrument, since I play more than one instrument. I want guys that can sing individually as well as collectively. Having the majority of the guys even lead vocal status so that we could switch in and out. I want guys that look good, because girls don't scream for ugly dudes. It's just the truth, okay? And more importantly, I wanted guys that had like minds, similar to mine, which was do or die. We're going to do this or we're going to quit.
Yeah.
And I was blessed, to be honest with you. What finally turned into and became Switch after signing with Motown, it really exceeded my expectations, but not God's plan. Because I'd love to take claim for it all, but we know there was some divine intervention there. I mean, from meeting Jermaine Jackson in the elevator to the first album going platinum, there was a whole lot of intervention there. Proud that I was the vehicle with which it came. So.
Someone's just made a request, Greg, to can you put the book cover up close again?
Absolutely.
There we go.
Sorry about that, upside down don't work.
Okay.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
That's it behind me as well, but maybe that's not clear enough. So anytime y'all want me to put this up, I'll put it up, because I'm here to sell books.
Greg, are you self-published?
Pardon?
Are you self-published?
Yes, I am at this point.
Okay.
But fortunately, all over the place, because I did it through Amazon, but then Border Books picked it up on its own, Barnes and Noble, and various book sites.
Fantastic.
And I've been selling books since it came out, which was May of 2019, May 1st.
Okay, awesome.
And still, I go to my mailbox and collect on it. And the reviews have been incredible. Trust me on that one.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm an avid book reader.
It's been very good.
I want to get the name of your book, because I'm an avid book reader.
Well, it's here it should be scrolling around. It should be scrolling soon. The name of the book. But Greg, you said you want to make some sales, so you've got to do some talking now. So you've got to be selling that book.
20 minutes. I will talk. You can ask the questions and I'll talk about it. But the real truth of the matter is the book kind does sell itself. The name of the book is Switch, DeBarge, Motown, and Me. And if you think of those three entities, all three of those entities were about making money in music history.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And I
that's
true. For all of that to come together.
So
we'll talk.
Okay, well, let's go back a little bit then into, let's take those different aspects. So we're going to take a bit of Switch, we're going to take a bit of DeBarge, we're going to take a bit of Motown, and then we're going to come to you. So let's go back to the Motown aspect of the book and how that fits into who you are now, Greg.
Okay, well, as I shared, after putting the group together and coming to LA looking for a deal, actually only been here, my partner Jody and myself came to LA with one tape. We could only afford one tape. So we're going to shop the deal with one tape, and anybody that was interested in hearing it had to hear it with us there. I mean, who does this? Okay, but anyway, we had the one darn tape, and strangely enough, one day we were out. We were here on the ninth day that we were here. We were going to see an attorney to help us sue Barry White because Barry White didn't pay us from the last record we had. And we run into Jermaine Jackson and his wife Hazel Gordy Jackson, Barry Gordy's daughter, on an elevator. We wound up giving him that one tape. We were out of business from that point on. I mean, well, go home. Well, ironically, because they were just starting a management company and they were there to set up business. They weren't looking for no acts, but fortunately, we were on the elevator, Jody and I. They got on the elevator. There was other people between us, so we nodded. We didn't try to talk yelling over everything. We nodded at each other. Okay, this was on the 18th floor. It broke down to the 5th floor where Jermaine and Hazel got off. There were people between us. Me and Jody were making our way to the 1st floor. Then we decided, hell, we should have gave them the tape. So we waited for everybody to clear. We got back on the elevator. We rode up to the floor.
Sorry about that. It's the track that I'm bringing up next. Greg?
We ran down the corridor. We called them just as they were about to pull out of the lot. They had stopped right by the door to look for a cassette to play. Here you go. So anyway, they accepted the cassette, gave them our information. Jermaine called us the next day and said, I like your tape. What do you guys want to do? Well, Jermaine, we're looking for a deal. He said, well, Hazel's in labor. I forgot to tell you guys she was pregnant out the ear when we met her the day before. So he said, well, Hazel's in labor and I'm at the hospital here. I'm in Hollywood. Are you guys near here? We weren't really that near there, but yeah, we're near there. Can you guys come over? We hopped the bus, went over there, and spent the evening with Jermaine getting to know each other, talking about different things. After a couple of hours of being there talking, getting to know each other, who should walk in the darn hospital but Catherine Jackson, Latoya, Reedy, and Janet.
Wow.
To support Jermaine and Hazel, of course. So anyway, we greet them. They treat us like family. So we stick around a little longer talking. Everybody's talking to us at that point. About a half hour after that, Jackie, Marlon, Michael, and Tito walk in.
Wow.
No lie. His whole family came to support him in the hospital, which was amazing. But better yet, they again treated us like family. It was awesome. It was one of the most incredible moments of my life. You know, because the Jackson 5, America's premier African-American family. Come on, y'all. Up in there. Okay. Anyways, after a while, we left and let it be. But from that point on, we were Jermaine's friends. We were his extended brothers. And we hung out and, from that point, and he got us signed to Motown and introduced us to Barry and got us signed.
Wow. And you've got so many, there's so many stories, and this is nice because you're just giving people just brief excerpts in terms of what they can expect from the book, because then, forming Switch. And I mean, what were you looking for in the artist that you were bringing together under the banner of Switch? Because I know that you sounded a bit like a taskmaster, because you wanted the best.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, I was looking for lead vocalists. I was looking for multi-talented musicians. I was looking for good-looking guys, and I was looking for guys with brains, somebody at least that would be loyal, and bring to the table what needed to be brought to the table. And I was not a leader by force or firmness. I was a leader by wisdom and respect, mutual respect. And that's what made that thing work. And ironically, that's what makes it work some 40 years later. The passing of Bobby DeBarge took him out of the group. The health of Tommy DeBarge took him out of the group. Jody Sims changed careers, but me and Philip and Eddie and Michael McGlory, the guitar player, still continue on some 40 years later out of respect and mutual love for each other at this point. Those are my brothers. And I specifically wanted people that I could have this kind of life and history with and go on my journey.
And you know, with Motown, because I've interviewed so many people from Motown, and a couple of things that really struck me is the attitudes and the attributes that they learned by being part of the Motown mill. You know, this whole thing of respect for each other, but also that healthy competition that always kept you guys on your toes. Because and that's important. So, who was your healthy competition back in the day, Greg?
To be honest with you, are you referring to external or internal?
I would say both, but more so in the music industry.
We didn't have any externally to me because we were all doing what we were doing, from the Commodores to Rick James to High Energy to Tina Marie. We were all the Motown babies, and there were no other bands like Switch, in there. So there was no competition per se, and we were all rooting and tooting for each other all the way down the line. With reference to in the group, I had no competition in the group. I mean, hell, I found it. So there was no competition for me per se. But again, we loved and supported each other, and that was the most important aspect of it. If somebody came up with an idea, in fact, the least one that was expected to try to write a song, we all dove in and rallied around him and tried to help him do what he did. So the competition or opposition, I didn't have. None of us had.
Good.
That support and love for each other, and let's do this darn thing. Plus, the feel people, which a group of very humble men. Period. So, a lot of acts have egos or whatever. We didn't have egos. We had confidence.
There we go.
Okay, and we believed in ourselves. So there was no cockiness, from internally or externally. There just wasn't. We just did what we did and loved it. And thank God for the opportunity to do it.
Absolutely. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, some major talent too.
What's
you guys
that?
were you guys were majorly talented too.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, that was a prerequisite. I remember when I was a kid, growing up in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and used to go to jam sessions all the time. And there used to be 20, 30 cats want to play at the jam session. And since there were so many cats that had so little time, we had to pick and choose who could be a part of the jam session. And a lot of times that somebody would turn to somebody that's less talented and tell them constructively and positively, man, you need to kind of tighten up a little more before you come here. Right? Well, in Switch, there was nobody needed to tighten up. We all needed to tighten up. Let's tighten up together.
That's right.
Yeah, there was no beat down. There was no disrespect. I fortunately had the insight to pick people that were on the top of their game better than we even knew. And the magic of it.
I love that. There's two things you said there, Greg. Firstly, then the magic happened. And then you said there was no ego, there was confidence. Now that's a very powerful statement, because it shows, I would say, the level of leadership, in whatever capacity, the leadership and the expectations of that. And then look at the incredible music that you guys have produced over this time. And even now, like I said to you some years ago, because I met you 3 years ago when I was in LA.
Right.
And I went back and I researched you because I was supposed to have interviewed you then, but I didn't get the chance. And I went back and researched you. And then one of my favorite tunes, Keeping Secrets. I'm like, oh my gosh, OMG. That's what they sang. Because when I've a few times, Keeping Secrets has been one of those tunes where it's just all over. It's all over for the night. And then I listened to your catalog and I was just like, wow. And also the DeBarge brothers and their voices they lent to the Switch. It just puts everything on, and I can see why it put everything on a different level. Craig.
Absolutely. I mean, and then as far as the DeBarge brothers, I grew up with the DeBarge family pretty much from age 12. Bobby, Tommy, and myself are from Grand Rapids. So in initiating the dream, I had to have those guys. For one, because of the love and the closeness, and then after that, the talent. I knew it, and fortunately, to Bobby, to me, even to this day, is the most unique falsetto I've ever heard in my life because it was actually a natural. You know, I have people I love. I love Eddie Kendricks. I love Philip Bailey. There's a whole bunch of others I like. But Bobby DeVar by far is superior cat. And I knew that. And I also knew that if I didn't get us out of Grand Rapids, we wasn't coming up out of there. So I got it.
Excellent. Well, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play another track, going back into one of my favorites. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to On the Sofa with Esther on LN Soul Radio. And in the studio with me, I have Greg Williams from Switch. Diane Mathis is co-hosting with me, and also Anthony Walker, Diane's producer. Hope you're enjoying the show.
Many days have gone by. I say to myself, gotta let her know she's mine. Ain't gonna waste no more time wishing you were mine. If it's what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna walk right up to you, baby. Said I love you, baby. You should know, girl, you should know. Girl, my love is so for real. My love is so for real. Anything to have you near. I wanna be closer, girl. I've got to be closer. Ooh, I wanna be closer. Squeeze you and please you. You do everything that you want me to do. You should know. You know.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's all I can say. Diane, what's a...
Those were the jams. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I can see
Yes.
That music is timeless.
It
That
is.
music
Yes.
is timeless.
Sound just as good now as it did back then. Absolutely.
Yes,
Fantastic.
yes.
Thank you.
And I can see Anthony, you know, you were just like almost, you know, just
I can't believe I'm here talking to Greg from Switches. Amazing.
Well, me either. I'm so ecstatic because I mean those were the songs of our when we was
That's what we grew
listening
up
to the
on.
radio, we was jamming to those songs. You know,
Yes.
that's it. That was
Well,
it. We were jamming to those songs.
I so appreciate the acknowledgement, you guys. Thank you very much. This is why we did it. We wasn't worried about no fame nor fortune. We did it for the love of it and hoped that we could spread the love of it. And it
And
goes
you did that. You
40
absolutely
years later.
did. You certainly did that because the music is timeless. And every time you hear that, I always say this kind of music takes you right back to where you were, what
Yeah.
relationship you were in, who you were in
Yeah.
love with. If you were at the skating rink and you were skating with some girl that you really, really liked, when you heard that song come on, you instantly go back to that memory.
Yeah.
This is how this music does. This is how this music takes you through time. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
brilliant. And what, I mean, have you got any new stuff that you're working on that, Greg? Because I know that I know you're pushing the book and, you know, we're going to keep pushing the book for you, but are you working on any new material? Because every time I speak to you, you're working on something new and something different, which is fantastic.
Yeah, Esther, I did, of course, introduce you to Switch's last single, did I not? I don't remember if I did or not, but I should have. We have a single that came out. We put it out a year ago. We didn't promote it, so now we're about to promote it. A song called "I Love You More."
Oh, I think you did.
Oh, awesome.
I think you did. I haven't got that to play now, but I can put that out when
Okay, because it's selling on Apple Music. It's actually on YouTube. It's kind of all over the place, and we're just getting ready to promote it.
Okay.
And the name of the song is "I Love You More." It's something that was written by Akili and me. And in the course of writing the song, we were trying to pull material together for a project. And today is a singles world versus an album world, basically.
Right, absolutely.
But we did a few songs, and everybody was trying to scramble and figure out, well, what we gonna write, what we need to do. Well, first of all, we ain't trying to invent a wheel, we switch. So when you hear the song, trust me, you will hear switch, first and foremost. And then there's a couple other things that are in the can that we're one's complete, and a couple more that we're working on. So we're slowly working towards maybe an EP or an album. We'll see what happens with it as it goes.
Okay. And can I ask, with the pandemic, how has that influenced, inspired, affected you, Greg?
In a multitude of ways, it's affected me. It's been a time of introspect, to tell you the truth. Time of finding out, really assessing who is Gregory Williams, what he wants out of life, what has he contributed to life, and what he gonna do about the rest of it. So through the course of it, I bought a home and I renovated my home myself for the most part. Not that it needed it, but I didn't, and I said the wrong word. I said renovated. Let's say personalized it. Because when you walk into a room in this place, it says Gregory Williams. And I love that. And I did that because I could. I did it to maintain my sanity in this isolation. I did it because I just wanted to be happy when I walked from one space to another.
Excellent.
And also with that, Switch did this thing called At Home with Switch, which is it was a virtual thing where all of us were at home and we sang and played a couple songs, one of which was I Want to Be Closer. And the other one was the new single, I Love You More.
I've just got it. I can play that actually. I've just pulled it up so I can play
Good.
that.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube and it's on Facebook. And we're going to do another one of those. So that's in the future to answer that. We were talking about There'll Never Be an I Call Your Name right now. So we'll see what's happening with that. And, I've got an audio book I'm working on. This guy here needs to talk. So I'm working on that. And also book 2. Believe it or not, this book is 546 pages. Now, y'all think I talked enough? Not at all. I got another 200 pages, so book 2 may get done somewhere in the course of this journey. And I'm gonna keep on living, and every day I'm gonna strive for something new to do.
Excellent.
So that I can be, live this life. We don't know when it stops, but I'll be damned if I get caught short.
Excellent.
Spending
I
mine.
understand how you feel, Gregory. That is awesome. That's
Oh,
awesome.
wow. Well, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to play I Love You More by
Good.
I've managed to pick it up. I'm determined. Yes, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I Love You More by Switch. Everyone knows that there comes a time, no matter what happens, whatever you need, I'm gonna make you standing. Of all the things I've learned these years from you, I learned to love no matter what, and that's what I'll do. I love you more. I love you more. I love you more. I do. I'm gonna spend my life with you. So let's be love when you say all your trust is all I'm making love. I've got to find my way. It's true. Forever looks much better 'cause I'm right here with you. I love you more.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome.
Thank
I
you.
like it. I like it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome, as they say. Gregory, we've literally got, I would say, another 5 minutes
What's
before
that?
we got another sort of 5 minutes as we before we come to the end of this segment as well.
Okay.
Um, but you know, every throughout this evening, what I've heard from yourself as artists is this whole you set the bar, you've got a bar, and it doesn't. You're not going to reduce that bar for anything or another because you know who you are. So what I want to ask you is what is that thread of confidence? Where is that from? Because as we mentioned before, you know, a lot of young people, or just people generally, not young, have almost sold themselves or sold their souls too, because they want to get into a certain position within the industry. So, what has been the mainstay for you in the industry to still be coming from a place of humility, to know who you are without selling yourself?
Well, quite frankly, I claimed at 6 years old I was going to be an entertainer.
Mm,
I sang in my kindergarten play. I learned to play trumpet at 9.
wow.
My dad was a jazz saxophonist. My mama was a gospel singer. Locally, nothing major, neither one of them. But I
Mm,
got the music from them. And after that kindergarten play and I heard the applause, I knew that was for me.
I
From
understand.
I claimed it and I said, I am, I will.
excellent.
That has been my motto all my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I've been this. You
Mm,
know, and each day I wake up asking, what can I do next? I don't sit and talk about what I did much. I think these gold records kind of speak for a lot of what I did on there. Not to mention the fact that I've been a magazine editor, not to mention that I've been a manager of artists like Elder Barge and Chico DeBarge and Michelle Thomas from the Cosby Show. You know, I have done various things in my life in the course of my journey. So it's
mm,
all been exclusively music, but it has all been Gregory doing the best and being the best that he can be. And I don't know no better now.
excellent, excellent, excellent. And Diane, I'm going to ask you the same question. Um, yeah, we've got about another minute for that. So, because I really want to play Carla's record as we bow out. So, what would be this? If I asked you the same thing, what would you say?
Um, I feel the same way that Gregory feels. I knew, like I said, when I was 4 years old, that I wanted to be an entertainer watching the Mickey Mouse Club. That was
Okay.
every day when I watched that show and I got my legs spanked, it never stopped me because every time, like you said, Gregory, I was in a production at my grade school, HMS Pinafore. When I was in, I think I was in the third or the fourth grade, and I was like, "Oh man, I love this the applause. I like being on stage. I like entertaining. I like dressing up. So that has been
Right.
everything for me too. And I've always wanted to, I always wanted to tell stories. I always wanted to create something. So at a young age, I was writing poetry, whatever. It was always something that was in my head. I had to get it down. So I understand the fervor that you feel because this has been my life. I have not had the fame and the fortune as you have, sir, but I have traveled around the globe. I'm grateful for all the experiences that I have and that I'm still able at my age to still perform and sing and write. And I'm going to do that until I leave here because that's what I came here to do.
Absolutely. I applaud you. Very,
Thank
very
you.
much
Thank
so.
you. And I'm good at what I do. So that's the best thing about it. I'm really good at what I do and I love what I do. So,
That's it, and that's the fire right there, loving it.
mhm.
Love creates a fire, whether it's between a man and a woman, a kid and a parent, you know, a
Absolutely.
nation, a career. That
That's
love keeps a fire.
that's that's it. I've never wanted to do anything else but be an entertainer. That is it.
I'm good. Same
Excellent,
here.
Excellent. And you talk about loving what you do. Well, I love what I do as well. I love having incredible artists like yourselves on. For me, I love I learn so much from yourselves, and each Sunday that I come on, it's like the start to my week on many levels, on many levels, and just being in the midst of music as well, music great. That's another bonus. And so, Gregory, just share a little bit more where people can get hold of the book show, book game flash. Look at us, please.
Absolutely. Okay. Again, the book is Switch to Barge Motown and Me. It is on sale at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Border Books, so many other sites. But one other key thing is my website at www.switchentertainmentworld.com. If you go there, you buy the book there. Actually, I reduced the price recently. If you go there and request a signed copy, I can get it signed because it goes through me. Now,
okay.
That kind of helps the situation out. And the history of Switch and what the current, old, new, all information on Switch is again at that website. That's www.switchentertainmentworld.com. Come visit me. My home phone number is even on there. Call me. Let's talk about it.
Diane's already dialing you.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to On the Sofa with yours truly, Esther Austin. I have some incredible guests coming up next week. It's going to be a surprise. You'll have to wait. But for June, I will be talking to Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. from Fifth Dimension. I've got Bobby Wilson, the late Jackie Wilson's son coming up, and so many other incredible artists. And the last Sunday of the month also, I will be interviewing upcoming and independent artists, so giving others who are coming up a space on this stage, because I feel that's really important. So, Diane, thank you so much for co-hosting with me today. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Esther. I certainly enjoyed every moment of it.
And I appreciate it. Diane, so nice to meet you. I am going
Thank
to
you.
find you and follow you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So
Absolutely.
you can look me up on YouTube as well. I have a song out right now entitled "Welcome Back Home," and I'm really excited about it. I wrote it, and Anthony, the gentleman that was on with us, he's my producer along with Dwayne Smith.
Beautiful. Wish you all the best.
A little bit here.
All I know is that you said you're coming home. So come on home, oh my darling, to my love. Mama told me long ago, you love someone, set them free. If that love returns to you, that's the love that's meant to be.
So, Greg, there's an excerpt from her. So,
Nice. Nice.
Thank you.
I'll make sure you connect. But as I promised before, I want to wind down with A Change Gonna Come by Carla Cook, who I interviewed in the first half of the show. Couldn't find the track at the time. I just think it's really important to play this out because a change is going to come, because from what you guys have shared, a change can only come. It can, even though things may seem to have moved slowly, but with your attitudes and with your aptitudes and with what you bring to the world, a change can only come. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I bow out, I'd like to say thank you to all those who've left messages. I'd like to say thank you to Anthony B. Williams, who runs the station. And you can also check out a lot of other shows on the station on www.lnsoulradio.com. There's Dutch Juxtaposition show before mine. There's Charmaine X and her reggae show coming soon. It's going to be KJ, and she's going to be doing, I believe, an indie neo soul show. There's Anthony B. Williams, who does a show on a Friday with DJ Carlos on a Saturday, and also there's the Angela Lee show. Getting tired now. So thank you for everything, and now a change is gonna come.
See you later. Thank you.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know change.
Did I say more? Did I say more?
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Hmm.
Wishing you all the best. Greg, thank you for your time. Diane, thank you for your time. And wishing you, wishing everyone a
Can't hear you.
fantastic week. And there was one other, Anthony's asleep. There was one other video that I wanted to play before I left. We've got Stephen Colazzo from Odyssey. He's going to be performing at the Sorry, Stephen Colazzo from Odyssey. He's going to be performing at the end of the month at a beautiful vegan vegetarian place down the road. So do book your tickets, ladies and gents. And at the end of every month, we will have an artist, whether that's via StreamYard or Zoom as well, who's going to perform at a gig at the end of every month. So without further ado, I'm going to play that out. Anthony, I'd just like to say thank you for your time as well, because you weren't here earlier. Thank you so much for your time supporting Diane. Thank you for your input. And
Talking about New York City, you never lied to me. I said you're rough, tough, and dirty, but you never lied to me.
Your Lifestyle, Your Wellbeing magazine, the summer issue, available July 2021, in collaboration with Street Flair London. The theme of this issue, #Black Royalty. So what does this mean to you? In this issue, we will be exploring a new, refreshing narrative and perspective. This is not a revolution, this is a celebration of self. Time to step into our personal power to enable the collective power. The responsibility lies with us. Great articles, empowered conversations, exclusives, art, culture, health and well-being, and much more. Join the conversation at #BlackRoyalty. And for further information, visit turningpointmag.com.
okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of the show. Thank you all for joining me, and I'm looking forward to seeing you same time, same place next week. Take care, Diane.
Thank you and bless you, my dear. Thank you for having me on. And I'm so appreciative of the hours that we have spent together. I have just enjoyed every moment of it. Every moment. Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Thank
Bye.
you. All right. Take care.
Hey, well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. I am sitting in the presence of, and I feel very privileged and very honored, of William Mickey Stevenson. And as we go along throughout this interview, or I would say throughout this conversation, you're going to get the essence of who this man is. And I feel very privileged and blessed to have met so many amazing artists and different people in different roles on my journey to LA. So without further ado, I always ask, who is William Mickey Stevenson in a nutshell, in a coconut shell, or maybe a peanut shell? Who are you?
Who am I? I am, or was, shall we say, the A&R director of Motown Records. And I ran the whole music division of Motown for about 10 years, the original Motown, with Stevie Wonder, Four Tops, Vandellas, Supremes, Marvin Gaye, Funk Brothers, and I can go on.
But beyond all that, beyond the person who ran all that, I'm going to ask you again, who is William Mickey Stevenson? Who is the person behind all this, or the essence, I should say?
Well, from my point of view, who I am is a person that the man upstairs, God, chose to do a task. Since he made the choice, I was doing it without the knowledge of what I was doing, but I was doing it because of the gift given me. When I found out later in life that it was from God and what the gift was all about, I used it a lot better. But it was going to be used whether I like it or not. That's the way it works. So in the essence, I am a man of God with a purpose that I must execute constantly until he tells me to stop.
And may I call you Mickey? What is that purpose? What is that gift?
That gift is to find the best part of the gifts given to others and try and pull that out so they can function, recognize what they got, and succeed in life. So that as they succeed, do what they are given to do, they can also say to others, I have a gift given from God, and here's what I do to help others. And it keeps going and going and going.